Okay. So yeah, well, I'm not gonna ask you why you decided to get the coaching because you told me, right, you want to actually really improve. That's also why you want to see it as a long-term project, and already told me basically that you want to have multiple sessions and not just this one.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
we'll maybe also focus on different things, of course, in the different kind of sessions. I think this one, the first one here, is gonna be mostly about really finding out what your biggest problems are, of course, and then also seeing, right, like I told you, I think it's important to have a live game as well, especially for the first one, just to see uh, like where your mistakes really are. Like oftentimes, a lot of the stuff is also with the camera movement and that kind of stuff. It all,
Oh, for sure. For
yeah.
sure it is.
And then also just seeing like obviously how you progress in the next couple of sessions.
Yep.
Um, right. Do you have like a rank goal? I mean, the funny like, or not funny. Like one thing I saw, of course, that you were silver before, but the last 2 seasons you were bronze. Were you just not playing that actively, or
Oh, I was playing very actively, but I
okay?
decided that I want to learn every champion.
Ah,
So,
okay.
that I know what every champion is doing. So at
Mm-hmm.
least for top lane, mid lane, and jungle, I have accomplished that. And
Okay.
now I decided that I want to be a one or two trick for when the second split starts.
Okay, that's
So
smart for climbing for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I decided that I will main Echo, and I'm not sure on the second champion, but I think it will be an assassin as well, but maybe AD. So
Yeah.
right now I'm in the like two tricking Echo and Kha'Zix.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, Kazakhs. I was about to say Kazakhs definitely a good choice. He's really OP
Yeah.
at the moment. Also, I mean, I saw you played some Viego. I'm personally a big fan of Viego. He's not much of an assassin. He's obviously more of a fighter, but I think he's a very fun
Man,
champ.
I was silver 2 this season, and then I went on my Viego arc and dropped down in 100 games to
Yeah, I can see.
like Iron 1. um,
Shit. Okay, you must be doing
so
something wrong. I mean, I can give you a Viego coaching as well if you're interested, but
no, I'm done with this
yeah,
champion.
yeah, that's fine.
But actually, when I'm playing against him, even as Echo, I have big problems.
Yeah, I think it's a good
Yeah,
matchup for Viego. I personally pick Viego against Echo when enemy picks Echo. He can just build very good items, right? He can build Wits End, he can even build more if he has
exactly.
to. It's
Yeah.
not that easy. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I mean, what would you say is your biggest weakness at the moment?
Oh, at the moment, I don't have one. I have many. So
But your biggest one, I
my
guess.
okay, my biggest one is when I don't get a lead, I can't play the game basically.
Mm-hmm.
So there were these two games today I told you before.
Yeah.
The one I went like 10-0 and everything clicked. I did all the right decisions. I made all the right decisions and I helped my team. So everybody in my team was very good as well. And we really blew them away.
Mm-hmm.
And the second game, I got invaded. I died on my first buff. Then I think I died on my first buff or whatever. And then I suddenly 10 minutes in, it was like 06, and
Yeah.
I couldn't play the game, and I can't come back in the
Yeah,
situations.
who invaded you though? I mean, I see who you're playing against, but these champs are not really. Did like the whole team invade you, or?
Yeah, the
Oh,
whole team
okay.
invaded. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that happens, of course. Then you're just often a little bit like, yeah. I mean, obviously, how do you say, like, optimally you would just ward against it, right? So you can't really get invaded like that.
I
Um,
did, but my team decided to fight, so I went in as well.
okay.
It was a mistake, so we were
Yeah.
like 0-2. I should have just given the buff, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oftentimes you just need to give and then like cut your losses. Basically, it's not the end of the world giving
exactly.
over like 100 gold. It's not much at all in the grand scheme of
Yeah.
things. So yeah, I guess one thing I in my last coaching session that I did with a bronze player, I really noticed is that like what I expect your weakness to be also is just gonna be mechanics. Like it's
Yeah,
something
of course.
because
My mechanics are old man hands. It's
yeah.
horrendous. Yeah.
That's like the thing because I told him right like his CS numbers like I think CS numbers if you're in bronze is probably not even something you should really focus on. I think that's something you probably need to start focusing on if you want to get to like platinum from gold probably. Before that you really just need to make sure you get your mechanics up to a standard where you're not constantly missing out on kills simply because of like poor mechanics, right? So like obviously you don't need to have good mechanics or whatever, you just need to have them to a certain standard that's not like really holding you
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's not something you can just you can't obviously snap your finger and then say, right, I'm gonna have good mechanics. You just have to play and get better. But I'm definitely gonna look out for that and just try to tell you right where you misplayed mechanically, especially, and just point you in the right directions there. And also, I guess, let me just share my screen really quick as well. Mm. Well, first of all, I guess with the mechanics as well, I don't know how if you've watched my coaching videos because I always ask the question of what you think mechanics are.
Well, I did watch the video, but I think mechanics are for me that I can hit my spells in the direction I actually am intended to do so, and yeah.
Okay. Well, but I always just say, right, it's really much more about just playing around all the abilities in the game, especially from the enemies, right? Because your own champ only has 4 abilities and a passive, and then you still need to be able to play against like 5 abilities per champ, or like 4 abilities per champ, so like 20 abilities. No, yes, 20 abilities, and then like obviously optimally also with your teammates' abilities sometimes, right? Certain supporters or whatever. Like that kind of awareness is what really will help you get good mechanics. And like of
Yeah.
course hitting your own spells and like placing your W well, and that's obviously also part of mechanics, but to genuinely have good mechanics you really need to just have the awareness of what the enemies can do. And you even said you were learning every champ, so that I think that's good. Or like most champs, I guess.
Yeah, on a
Um,
basic level, I know what is.
yeah, that's enough. I mean, for Uriel, that's more than enough, I would say. Right, just knowing like the general cooldowns and like ranges and that kind of stuff. That's the
Yeah.
most important stuff, I would say. And then just actively, but like really being mindful about it, right? Like oftentimes you can tell like people when I'm coaching them, they tell me, right, yes, I know what mechanics are, I know all that stuff, and then I would see them play, and they're not really, it doesn't really reflect in their gameplay how they like act. And I'm not saying like you're not gonna make any mistakes, whatever. Like everyone makes mistakes. I also make mistakes, but it just really, I think the best way to improve mechanics, because it's kind of hard for me to help you improve mechanics, right? It's always going to be you that's inputting the buttons
Yeah.
and whatever. So the best way to really help you there is just to tell you to really be very mindful of all the abilities. Like actually, if you see a champ, like really think, like kind of analyze their kit, right? Like imagine you're some cyber bot or whatever that like has his glasses and just quickly analyzes well all the abilities that the champ has, and then really try to, it's like chess, right? Like really see what kind of moves you can maybe do in advance or whatever. Just
Mm.
don't be surprised. You should never be surprised by the enemy's abilities, of course. All right. Are you using any kind of jungle timer app, by the way?
Yeah, I'm using
Okay.
Mobalytics.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? Which ones you
Yeah.
use. I think they're all fine. Okay, so let's get into your OPGG. I would say even your farm numbers are, I mean, they're definitely not high, but I've seen definitely lower numbers from people even with a little bit higher elo. What definitely stands out is like your kills are quite low and also your deaths are pretty high.
Mm.
So that obviously uh, probably comes back to mechanics. And then
Yep.
also what we can see is oftentimes like even in the game where you went 10-0, your kill participations are not that high. I mean, okay, maybe if your bot lane just gets a lot of kills, of course, right? You it's not your fault or whatever that it's low, but overall, oftentimes it seems like your kill participations are below 50%. I think as a jungler, oftentimes you should definitely have above 50%, right? Not every single game. Sometimes your laners just get a lot of kills on their own, and that's obviously not bad, but yeah, like most of your games you're even below 40%. So I guess it just means you're not really participating in enough fights oftentimes, or you're just not looking for enough fights yourself even. um okay, you switched over from first strike. I didn't see that. I would actually recommend you like for this coaching session to try out electrocute. I think Dark Harvest is just more difficult than electrocute, and it's not much better. Really, it just
Okay.
outscales a little bit, but you don't really need to scale in this elo, and it's still really good in the late game, the electrocute for sure. And you will always have the same value, right? That's a good thing. Like I also play electrocute at the moment because I think it's just the most consistent.
Okay.
Mm. I also saw you always take green smite. I think, as I said, I always take blue smite. I'm a big fan of it. Definitely in some of those games, green smite has value, right? You're playing against a lot of CC comps here, for sure. Have you tried playing with Blue Smite or no?
Yeah, I have been playing with Bluesmith, but Greensmith, I feel like it's a mental thing. I feel safer somehow.
I mean, you are a little bit safer, right? You have more tenacity, you have a bit of a shield, but you shouldn't need that kind of safety, in my opinion. That's like the main thing. I think just learning Echo without any kind of safety nets like Zhonya's and that kind of stuff as well is just better. It's gonna
Yeah,
make you a better
I'm not.
player.
I stopped buying Zhonya's when I saw a video of you where
Hmm.
you said basically don't buy Zhonya's, just learn the champ without it
Yeah, that's
to
good.
to learn its limits. And I was like, okay, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I mean, for example, this game here, again, this game is definitely one where you could build Zhonya's, but always, if you build Zhonya's, it should always be after Rabadons, because like after Rabadons, you can basically build whatever you want, right? You can even build a rapid fire cannon, that kind of stuff, because you're basically full build after Rabadons.
Yeah,
So then slotting in an item like Zhonya's is super good. Of course, it's a very solid item overall. It's just very bad to build as a third item in my opinion because it takes away a lot of carry potential. But here, for example, I could even see it, right? They have a lot of 80 damage, and against Lux, for example, it's not bad. Like if she Qs you and whatever, you can Zhonya's to not die. But yeah, most of the games you shouldn't find yourself building Zhonya's. Overall, item building wise, not a whole lot wrong, I guess. As I said, I think I would personally just go for Blue Smite. It increases your tempo so much, and it will just, I don't know, like for me, it helps me so much also to join team fights and that kind of stuff. So,
yeah. Okay, definitely gonna try that out.
yeah. Yeah, let's see your League of Graphs as well. What definitely stood out to me is the duels winner. Really, it's like you're losing more duels than you're winning.
Yeah.
Obviously, not every single duel is chosen, right? Sometimes you might get engaged, and I think they also count that as a duel, but still, I think you should definitely have a higher duels winner. It just shows, like, first of all, it's obviously like limits. I don't know how new you are to Echo. I mean,
I started playing Echo this season.
okay, so these are like your first 80 games then?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, so it's understandable, right? You're just learning the champ. It's definitely something just to keep an eye on, I guess, and learn more.
I mean,
Um,
in the beginning, I lost like crazy because I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
of course.
I'm slowly adapting to his damage.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
overall,
but
as we can see here as well, right?
yep,
Your damage dealt and kills assist. It just basically means you're probably playing too passive, right? You don't know your damage that well because you're pretty new to the champ. You just don't know when you can kill people. Oftentimes, I'm guessing, or you just misplay, of course, maybe also. But like that's the main thing I think. That will definitely help you to get to silver at least, and then maybe even to gold if you get more comfortable. I mean, I don't know how long this like half split or whatever is gonna last. How much longer? Like your LP gains are not that great, right? Plus
uh,
19, minus
but
28 is definitely rough.
I don't even care about LP right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, of course. I'm just saying. Yeah, right. Yeah, but that's actually really good, right? You told me you don't care about your rank and that kind of stuff. That's definitely a very good mindset, in my opinion. I would say one thing I noticed with the patterns is that you surrender quite often. I think you shouldn't, especially in your elo. If you're playing Echo, you should never really surrender. All you need is like one or two kills theoretically, of course, and then
Shutdowns and stuff
and,
like
and
that.
then you can win the game, especially in this elo. Like people in low elo, they don't know how to end the game, right? Oftentimes, all you need to do is wave clear a bit, and then people start inting and that kind of stuff. It's really not good to have such high surrender rate, especially like it's 10% higher than the average bronze player.
Yeah, but look here, if you go back to patterns, for example, that there is seed snowballs, but on the other hand, loses when behind
Mm-hmm.
on the right. Yeah, so this is like, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you seem to fall behind quite a lot, but this is not just Echo, right? This is like all champs. So
yeah,
this
yeah.
is like the only thing I really look at here is surrendering most of the time because yeah, that's obviously an overall thing, but yeah, like win rate when -2 kills is definitely very different if you're playing in lane than it is when you're playing in jungle, right? Because in lane it's much easier or much harder to come back than in jungle oftentimes.
Yeah.
So that's not super important to look at. And in general, I think for you it's not like really. We will see, of course, your mechanics. That's like the biggest thing I'm looking out for. Mm. Yeah, and the rest here is something we can really worry about in the future, especially because you, of course, you said you want to have multiple sessions. I guess what we should do now is just check your jungle clearing, how you're doing there
Yep.
in practice tool.
So I share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't show my league.
I think you can also just share the screen. I think that's actually better because then I can also see your mouse.
Yeah. Okay. Do you see my mouse now? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me also turn you up a bit.
Okay. So you're seeing everything?
Yep.
Damn it! It didn't take smite.
Oh. You've never been in the practice tool?
Not really.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't think you can practice echo mechanics all that well in the practice tool, I would say. Of course, you can practice like the EQ command, whatever, but it's always going to be a bit different in game. Wait, what's that on the top right? Are you like a riot partner, or what is that? No.
Nah. This thing.
Ah, okay. Oh,
This
what's
is
that?
like Game Pass. So
I've
I have
never
every
seen that.
champion.
Interesting.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you have every champ from that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay. So I use this setup. So I switch
Yeah, but
this to
with,
electrical
yeah,
bread,
I would say so.
and the rest stays
The
the
rest is
same.
good. Yeah, the rest is good.
Okay.
Someone is saying that they, like some other Master Echo that's in my chat right now, is saying that they prefer Relentless in the jungle. The reason I don't like Relentless, or I don't think it's necessary in the jungle, is first of all, I play Blue Smite every game, so you don't really need the movement speed. And then also, the other reason for me not taking Relentless Hunter is I think the reason I like in mid I take Relentless Hunter, but in jungle, Treasure Hunter is still better in my opinion because it's quite easy to collect the stacks early. And if you manage to collect the stacks early from Treasure Hunter, I think it's more valuable, right, to just get the snowball going. And like as I said, right, you're kind of over committing or over capping on movement speed anyways if you have Blue Smite, and especially
Okay.
with Lich Bane.
How do I speed up the time? Okay.
On the bottom.
I didn't start to do the Raptors clear.
Yeah, it's fine. Just full clear. Yeah. There.
Okay, now comes the embarrassing part.
Would you say that clearing is something you struggle with, or?
I'm struggling with everything actually.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay. I think if you clear on the red buff, then starting W is better. I definitely proc the passive on the small one. Yeah, always proc your passives. Like it has a cooldown, right? So you want it to reset. Optimally, of course, you would just have one Q where you could clear all the raptors. I guess I can also show you afterwards. Okay, that's good. Like definitely proc some of the small ones because they deal the most damage. Do you never lock your screen?
No.
Okay, I think you should do that. Like it's definitely gonna help you mechanically.
I trained so hard to unlock it.
I mean, lock it like the way I lock it is not like fully lock it. I just have it locked when I press the button, right? I think on melee champs like Ekko or whatever, it's not a bad habit. It really helps you mechanically.
See, I don't get the 330.
Yeah, it's whatever. I mean, see, like you're in bronze, it really doesn't matter if you get like a 330 or whatever. It's especially the way you jungle after your first clear is gonna matter much more, and that's what really helps you get CS leads and that stuff. But still, yeah, there were some mistakes for sure. I'm gonna just quickly show you how you should be clearing the jungle.
So I leave the screen sharing.
Yeah, you can still leave it on you. You're gonna go in a live game in a second, right? So.
Okay.
Yeah, so some other guy that the master guy that's in play right now is also saying that when he started pressing spacebar in fights, he got better mechanically. As I said, right? I think it's really generally it's not bad to not obviously if you always have your screen locked, it's bad because then you can never see stuff. But I think especially in fights, you should just lock the screen on you. Like I personally have it bound on my.
I have it on spacebar as well. So
Yeah, I have it on like my mouse button, like mouse 4 or
okay.
whatever. But yeah, most people have it on spacebar. It's basically the same. It's just some easy to press button. So
Yep.
definitely start doing that. It's gonna make hitting your abilities and that stuff a bit easier. Oh, did the patch come out today?
Yep.
And why is it downloading so slowly? Hello? Okay. Oh yeah, let me share my screen really quick. What even changed? Oh, nothing. Ah, the Nico rework came out. Cool.
Oh, is this the thing where she can turn into basically everything on a
Yeah,
map?
I think so.
Okay. Okay, so just to understand, you want me to get into a game or not
No,
yet?
no. Just watch first, I guess, the clear. Just see like the small difference. I mean, I don't know if you've watched much of my gameplay or whatever. You might have seen me clear the jungle before. I'm just basically
Yeah.
telling you what you did wrong mostly. I mean, I told you already, right? You're not proccing the passive on the small one
Small
or the
croc,
smaller
yeah.
croc, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think W star is better because of the passive, right? The minus the 30%. I think overall it probably doesn't make a huge difference, to be honest.
What I did not do, by the way, because I'm not a big builds guy, I don't want to like I oh in other words I want to have like a cookie cutter build that I can use mostly every game,
Yeah, you
so
can
that I
do
have
that.
to so that I have to so that I can focus on the gameplay itself and on the
Yeah, you can
decisions that I
basically
make
build
on
the
lineup.
same items every game.
Yeah.
Like,
So
Naturals
do
is
I build
basically always viable.
Dark Seal or do I not build Dark
Yeah, I
Seal?
always build Dark Seal, for sure.
Even with my high deaths?
Yeah, just die less.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you still build it, right? Obviously, you're gonna lose the stacks oftentimes, maybe if you're like mechanically misplaying or whatever, but still a very good item for Ekko. And at some point, some stuff will just start clicking, and then you'll not die as much. See, like now they're all dying at the same time the way I cleared them, and then you can just throw one Q back. And they die. Also, one thing that you were just talking, so I didn't want to interrupt you, but at 126 you can already place the W. And then walk back in it, right? Like it lingers for some time.
Okay.
I mean, that's like also some cookie cutter stuff, right? It doesn't really make a huge difference, but there's no reason not to do it. As you can see, like I'm just always doing, like I'm always just. Why wouldn't I have it on me, right? I can basically all my abilities are on my screen anyways. Only sometimes you might need to get like move your camera for the W. And then as long as you have decent awareness, like I don't feel like it's holding me back at the moment, like anymore. I used to always play with completely locked screen. Obviously that's bad, but now the way I'm playing, I'm just unlocking it whenever I need to, and I think that's completely fine. Because if you just constantly need to move your camera, it's just really right. Like you need to have inputs for that, and it's just making the game more difficult.
Yeah.
And I would say you can easily get to diamond at least with just fully locked camera anyways. It's not one of those things that matters as much as people give it credit for. So Yeah, like this clear was, I guess, 328 or whatever. I don't know. I've never really cared about these kind of numbers. It's just a few seconds. Like the amount of seconds people waste, like after the first clear, whatever, is so much higher that people that care about this are just. I mean, you need to start caring about this when you're like in 1000 LP challenger. I would even say not even a master. You need to care that much about it. So yeah, like the biggest thing is obviously the biggest thing is the crux that you can clear them all with one Q.
Okay.
So just make sure that they both pop at the same time, I guess. Yeah, you can go in Q now. I need to turn on the screen share again.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess before even starting here, one thing I want you to do in this game is press like your spacebar more often. Just have the camera focus on you, especially in fights.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will obviously see how you play generally, and maybe just go for. I mean, I will not be super active with like telling you what to do and whatever because I mostly want to see how you play your game, but I will still tell you obviously sometimes maybe when you can go for certain plays or whatever.
Okay. Do you want me to explain while I'm
I
doing
guess if that's
while
not
I'm
a
doing things?
yeah, if that's not too difficult for you, you can always say that kind of stuff, and then maybe we can see if uh, the
My
things you
wife,
say align with
yeah,
what you do.
my wife tells me I'm not able to multitask, but I'm gonna try. So
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if it's too difficult for you, then don't do it. It's fine. Like, if you feel like you're gonna play worse because of explaining or whatever, then for sure don't do it. Okay, so what do you usually ban?
either Shaco because I hate playing against this champ.
Okay.
Or actually Kane, but nobody's playing Kane right now in my
Are
elo or
people
Hex.
playing Shaco though? I mean, Shaco is
Yeah,
like one
yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
worst champs in the game right now. I guess it's in
But
your elo.
yeah, but it's the one tricks that are playing him. So if
Hmm.
normally I leave Kha'Zix open because if Ekko's banned, I'm gonna play Kha'Zix, but I'm gonna ban Kha'Zix right now
Yeah, I mean,
because
Kha'Zix is my ban at the moment.
yeah.
Only very difficult
Evelyn was a
matchup.
ban for some time
Yeah.
before I started playing her, so I know how
I
I know
think
the
Evelyn
ability.
matchup is pretty easy in my opinion. She's like a very squishy champ and you can build defensive boots and she can't, so that often kind of helps you in the 1v1 as well.
Yeah, but if she gets a lead, she waits
Yeah,
on
like
me.
in this elo especially, people obviously don't know how to play around Evelyn at all, so she can often just get completely fed, but it's kind of the same for you, really. If you're fat enough, then you can still one-shot her.
Yeah.
I mean, she can of course build benches at some point, but usually not early enough. Like that's just my experience. Though. I feel like a lot of people say that they're struggling in the Eve matchup. I don't know why. Okay.
Okay, so if I'm looking at the matchups right now,
If I'm looking at this, it is a complete free login because they have literally 0 CC.
yeah, and zero tankiness,
And that as well.
but they scale hard. They have Victor,
I
Kale,
mean,
Senna, and Master
I
Yi.
think in these kind of games, Echoes just simply outscales because they don't have any CC. I mean, you don't have much CC either, but at least you have a Thresh. So and Kale, okay, I mean Kale got kind of reworked. Right? I think she's better now, but generally this is definitely a very easy game.
Okay,
Theoretically, of course.
pathing wise, I normally always start red buff,
Mm, okay.
but right now I would pass towards my bot lane because I think Irelia should be able to bully Kale in the early game hard. So I
Um. Yeah.
don't
Wait.
you
I
agree?
think you're red set though, right? Aren't you?
Yeah, yeah,
So
I think
you
so.
so then you're pathing bot if you're starting red
Yeah.
buff. I think that's fine. I think you should path bot here for sure. I mean, Tristana has decent escape, but Senna doesn't really have. I mean, of course, in this elo, you can't really rely on your Thresh to hit hooks and that kind of stuff, anyways. But I would generally say pathing bot is just oftentimes gonna be better because you can just get 2 kills there, and if they massively overextend, which will happen a lot in this elo, then you just get 2 kills instead of 1. Like that's generally my thought process for pathing bot, especially in low elo. But I would say overall I path bot more than top, anyways. It's just a more impactful lane.
Okay, that's interesting. Nobody has
Yeah.
any experience.
No, I think it's
Oh,
bugged, right? Because you don't have
yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, like I actually did a video about that path front.
So I think Masi's gonna full clear.
Yeah, I recommend you, I guess, just full clear. I mean, this would definitely be a game where you could do the Raptors path. Very good. I mean, I do it every game at the moment anyways, but since you want to go bot lane here, just clearing the Raptors and then recalling with the Darkseer would definitely be good as well.
Yeah, then let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, if you're definitely, you need to start Q then for sure though.
Yeah. I can't be bothered with this chat nonsense.
Wait, did you do /deafen?
No, because if
Okay.
I deafen, I can't ping.
Yeah, I don't like it when people do that either. Like it just tilts people for no reason. I'd rather just mute everyone if I don't want to hear the pings.
So this is right, like standing here and not warding anything because
I would say generally when you're playing against matchups where people can invade you, you should leave a ward where you're standing basically, or in the brush above you, at like 55 seconds.
here.
But now it's not gonna matter. Like, who are you playing against even? Yeah, I mean, actually in this elo, Yi sometimes invade, right? But generally, I don't think you need to ward. I don't know, just ping him away. And just once, so it doesn't. Definitely make sure to pass from the small ones here as well. Maybe get into the habit of just pressing spacebar now while clearing jungle as well.
So I don't smite red, right?
Yeah, do you still smite Crocs?
Okay, so now I clear them with 1Q, right?
Yeah. And now you just base.
Oh man, I can't do anything here. No.
No, like, even if you could, like, most of the time you just recall for the Dark Seal. I also get Red Sweeper for sure. That's something, like, in my last bronze coaching, I did, like, at 40 minutes or something, nobody in the game had a Red Sweeper. That was so crazy. Here I guess you could look for a lane gank. So just walk into the lane brushes. That's what I would do here, especially because they're so low. At this point, you might even be able to just dive them. They're quite low. Yeah, just go for the lane gank. They probably don't even have it warded either. But also always ping, right, that you want to go for that, so your laners... I mean, in this, you definitely put the sweeper on as well, so you know if it's warded. Shouldn't be. And just wait for them to walk into you. Wait, was it warded? Oh. How did that happen? It might have been like the middle brush. I definitely go to the crab now first. The middle brush might have been warded because they were not walking up. You definitely need to just put the sweeper on as soon as you're walking into the brush, into any of them, so you know that you're being spotted. In general, the jungle, you always want to know if you're being spotted, so you don't waste any time and you're not risking to like get in engaged on by multiple people. Yeah, just go in your jungle, clear from Grump, and then also while you're doing this, definitely look mid. Just see like maybe this Victor is low or whatever. I don't think you need to do like with the F buttons. Just look at the, like for example here with the F buttons you didn't even see the HP of the Victor. I think that's way more important. And also smite the blue buff for sure. Definitely still look mid. You still haven't seen. Okay. I mean, now if the Victor was a little bit overextended, it would be a good time to gank because you're level 4. So clearing this camp, it doesn't give you that much. It mostly gives you the fact that it respawns at a better time. But if you have like a gank opportunity now, it's definitely one you should take most of the time. Yeah, I think definitely also look top now. Now look top and see if you can gank there. Probably not. I mean, actually you can, right? You really need to not just look there, but also get the info, right? The way you looked there the first time around, it wasn't really, you didn't really see the wave that much. I guess just full clear though. I mean, now she's kind of far back, I would say. Just clear and then see if you can get something. I would say with the way the wave's looking at the moment, you could probably just lane gank on top. You're gonna be level 5. Also, this is a timing where it's not super unlikely that the Yi could maybe be top as well. Ping for it now though. Just like when you go for it, just ping that you want to go there. I mean, it could be in a dive as well, but the Kaila's level 6 now, so it's definitely risky. And this elo, people misplay dives so hard. Definitely, you can get into the next brush even. Well, maybe not like I don't know if she spotted you now. I guess try to dive. No, well, maybe not. Just recall, I think it's a bad call here. Okay, well, now you can go, No, that's fine. Just help her shoving the wave and then recall. I think she can manage herself as well. Make sure when you're helping, make sure not to take last hits if you don't need to. And just recall.
I mean...
No, she still has ult. It's just by the blasting one, I think. I mean...
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's usually better. No, don't go on that. Don't go on that for Amptom. Just by a control word. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Go to your Grump. Go to your Grump. That's like what will... You need to always clear the camps that you cleared first again, right? Maybe you can gank mid, but you can't gank mid from the lane. You need to come from the side. It should be pretty free. He didn't even see you. Okay. Wait, that was first blood in a bronze game at 8 minutes. What the fuck? I don't think that's ever happened before. Yeah, just go to your Grump. I think the topside crap might still be up, actually. It's still, like...
Is he AFK or what?
It might be, like... I thought it would be cleared for sure, that's why I didn't even tell you to go there, but I think it's actually still up because there's no new respawn timer.
Senna is top.
Yeah, I don't know why she's doing that. Yeah, just keep clearing, I mean, okay, I guess you can do Drake, yeah, just do Drake because Senna's top. Generally you could just keep clearing though. Also now, like, I think best would have been to just do the Drake first and then start clearing again. I didn't really look... Because now the Grump will respawn much earlier than the wolves and it's gonna be a little bit annoying. Or it could be annoying. And just clear your wolves now. I mean, definitely look bot here also. You can probably kill her. The Aurelion's also moving. It's definitely a big time investment here because your bot lane still needs to shove in the wave.
I mean, I'm gonna check here.
Yeah, I don't even know if this he is genuinely AFK or something.
No.
He's not. But wait, he just cleared the camp though because it has a 5-minute respawn timer. So that means you should either be in his top set or he's just at his crux right now. Yeah, this guy should be dead again. Okay. No, just go to your wolves and clear you towards your top set. You really like at this point you need to know that you're really strong. That this Yi hasn't shown anything so far
Yeah.
in 10 minutes. What the fuck?
He's just AFK farming, I think.
No, you must be very new to the game. How much gold do you like, or how much gold do you need for rocket belt? I think a little bit, right? Yeah, clear your blue first. I mean, you're right. You're here.
Oh yeah.
Just respawned. I don't think. I think in this game you can be greedy. You can just out the use mid actually. Okay, the Orion's just out though. I think you can maybe even just clear your whole top set and then take Herald and then you have the rocket belt.
Okay, Senna is perma top.
Yeah, who knows why they.
Yeah, maybe they fought in chat or something.
Probably. I feel like the top side crab is still up.
Yeah.
Maybe go check for it now. I mean, or actually no, just clear the jungle and then go check for it. Because
he didn't even see my ward.
No. Why are they all mid? What? Yeah, definitely sweep here as well, right? When you're walking through these brushes, just put the sweep on, see if there's any wards. Like you don't need to check the brushes or whatever. Just generally you should see if you're being spotted.
I mean, I can flash, but there are.
No, it's not worth. I think you're still missing a little bit of gold for. Actually, no. I think now you can go base. You have the potion to sell as well, so yeah, just go base, get the rocket belt. It's a decent timing. 12 minutes. Okay.
That was a weird flash.
Wait, and that flash was even weirder because he already used all this damage, but okay. Yeah, just go. No, I think you should go bot first, especially because the crab is respawning. Like, and now is really not a good time to do Drake because everyone's just mid. I mean, obviously it's completely in that everyone's just mid, but you don't really have the numbers advantage. I mean, now you do. Yeah, go for the crab first, and then just clear your jungle towards the Herald, and then clear it. You know, that's how you will hit higher CS numbers. You should always try to clear your jungle first, unless you're forced to not do it.
I mean, right now I would look for his raptors, but
yeah, just check if they're up really quick, and if not, then just go to your jungle. That's also what I do most of the time when I'm in this kind of position. It's not a huge time commitment, and you can steal them away really quickly.
I'm gonna Sark boots this game, right?
Yeah, they have no CC. For sure.
And right now I would go bot, because the tower is gonna fall, and we can kill them, right?
I mean, the thing is, it's like at this point, it's just a much bigger time investment than if you would have just went top before clearing your camp, you know, because now you're walking back and forth. It's like, generally you want to look for ganks either before or after clearing your jungle. So like when coming out of base, you usually look if there's a good gank timing or after clearing your side. I think you should, I mean, definitely look top to see if you need to move there. You can definitely do something there, but I guess you can also get level 9 here from one camp, so Yeah, of course, now you're just a bit conflicted on what to do. I think just taking Herald here is probably the best thing. I'll also ping for it, right, that you want to do Herald. So your team just moves. Aurelion should definitely be bot here. Or start going bot at least.
No, they never switch.
You can, of course, also just tell your team what to do. Sometimes they might not always follow, but every now and then they will, and then it's good. I think just actually base here and then go Drake right away. You have boots to buy as well. Okay, I'm gonna take the blue first. It's a little bit risky though. I always pull it towards the top. And just recall. Recall, get boots and like a control ward maybe. And then doing fine.
Yeah. Now I want to go. Yeah. Did he ult? Yeah.
Yeah, he's running. Yeah, I think you can get them. They keep staying around there. Yeah, just go Drake. No, always ping, right? Always ping when you want to do something like an objective. At this point, I think you're also just strong enough to do it on your own. Generally, I wouldn't use W for doing Drake when it's contested, because there's always the possibility of a fight breaking out, and then you don't have it, right? So it's a quite long cooldown, and it only hits only tanks like one hit of the Drake. So oh wow, did they FF? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Someone must have been AFK, right? I guess the Senna.
Can we make like another?
Yeah, for sure. Or we can also just look at one game if you have one where you feel like you maybe like maybe if there's a game in your match history where you thought you should have won or something and you just didn't know how to carry. Those are also often quite interesting to look at. I mean, the main reason for the live game was to just see your camera movement. That I would say one thing I definitely noticed is that oftentimes you look at the lanes, but you don't really get the info that you want to get, right? Like the main info you need to get from looking at lanes is the HP of the enemy laner that's there. Right, like that's the most important info, because then you can decide if you need to go there or if you want to go there. Then of course, right, with like centering your cameras, definitely something you should start doing. Also, I saw that you're playing with without like smart cast or like
Yeah.
quick cast.
Yeah.
I don't think you necessarily need to change it, but of course it's definitely gonna improve your mechanics, right? Like there's no really good player that plays without quick cast. And if you get comfortable enough with your mechanics, then or like with your abilities, then you don't really need the indicators that much, right? Like everyone starts out playing with the indicators, but if you just turn them off, you will find out that it's really not much more difficult to play without them. Is there any game you feel like would be good?
Actually, I don't remember, but I think this, like for example.
Okay, that was also quite long, yeah.
Yeah. Like
And it
this.
was Kha'Zix setup. This was the one where I told you you could have even built Zanyas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's first look at the game you just played really quickly. I mean, there was obviously also some mistakes.
Okay, I just need to see yours.
Yeah. I'm just logging in and that stuff anyways. But
Yeah.
I'm sharing.
Okay.
Just gonna... Okay. Oops.
I would be actually after that very interested in the 10-0 game.
This one?
What I did right this game, or if
What
I
you did
was being
right.
carried to the 10-0.
Okay, yeah,
Because
that's also interesting, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's also interesting. Okay.
Yeah, well, this was actually a very weird game. So these
Yeah.
no games happen sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, that was like especially the fact that the Yi just didn't show for the first like literally 10 minutes. You
Yeah,
still
and
had
then
him at
died.
level
Yeah.
1. Very very weird even for a bronze game. Why am I most like that? Right. First, like with the what I told you with the ward, right? Against Lee Sin, and I would say even against Yi in this elo, I know that in this elo oftentimes Yi players they invade early. I think Yi is not even that bad at invading early because he doesn't really need level 3 to be useful because his W doesn't really matter that much. So you might want to leave a ward here. Just to see, because some Ys they might just go like from red and then run straight to your red or that kind of bullshit, or on the other side. Maybe not, that is quite a far path, but this kind of stuff it really like I've seen it happen in this elo. So just leaving a ward here or here, it doesn't really cost you anything. And
Yeah.
when I would usually do it is like at 55 seconds I just stand somewhere like in a brush, then recall, and then the last second you place it, so it lasts like for the longest amount of time, and then you can get the red sweeper right away. That's also good right before going base. But it also doesn't really matter. I think just the cooldown is a little bit lower than you get it right away. Yeah, for the clear here, one thing that's definitely important is to hit all the minions with the Q red. For that, I usually just stand around here and then throw the Q in this direction.
Okay.
Because see now what you're doing is like you're only hitting you're missing these small two both of these. Yeah, and then also make sure to proc your passive. You didn't proc it on a single one. Usually you need to proc it on at least, or like you can proc it on 3 of the small ones and then they die basically instantly. It just makes you lose much less HP. Of course, losing HP in this path doesn't really matter that much because you're recalling anyways. But still, right? Like this clear is definitely not very efficient. Yeah. Overall, with the red, just make sure you kite it towards the next camp in the end. I think you did that right. Yeah. The elo of this coaching is bronze and I'm master. Someone's asking in chat. Yeah, you don't need to attack the medium croc again here, right? Like it's burning out. You need to be aware of that, I guess. Or it's not burning out. Like your jungle pet is killing it, right? If it's like that, you only need to. I think you only need to attack it once. Yeah, I think actually only once after proccing the passive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just try to hit them all. I usually also miss one or whatever. Yeah, just recall right away. I think you had around how much gold? You had like. What do you have? I don't know. You had like 360 or something or whatever. You can usually be at like 350 and then recall. So you're definitely a little bit slow. But as I said, like you're in bronze, so it really like these small optimizations that they just don't matter that much. Yeah, and here I told you, right? Just go for a lane gank. And the reason for that is they didn't even have it warded. Okay, that's interesting. Like you can of course just go through the river and dive. Like oftentimes when the enemies are like in this early timing, that's also why I like this pathing so much, is like usually it's not even warded, right? It can't really be warded, and especially if they're pushed in like this, it can't be warded. But all you can do here is dive if you go through the river. So I'm telling you, just like in this elo, it's just a bit risky to dive because people often misplay. So just going for the lane gank is really safe, and I mean you even did it correctly, I would say generally.
I misplayed mechanically, I think. When I
yeah, of course you did
here,
with the E here. You
Yeah.
done the ward.
Yeah.
I think you wouldn't have killed her anyways, though. It's actually very weird that they're not walking up at all here. I'm gonna be honest. That's just. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're just scared, I guess, but it's definitely a bit unfortunate. Of course, you eat on the. That's definitely a mistake, but she's full HP. Like generally, you can't kill any full HP targets. Oh, I didn't even see that. Wow. You definitely, like, if you see this kind of stuff happening, then you need to look there. I genuinely didn't see that when you were with the way you were moving your camera. That the thresh hit the hook there. I think she's definitely. I mean, you almost have E. I think if you move there, you can maybe kill her
Yeah.
with flash. Yeah, well, I actually didn't see that. Crazy. Yeah, and like when you're here, definitely start looking mid right away. Like, right, you're not looking mid right away. If I see this, of course, the Aurelion is base, so it's kind of difficult to kill him. But if he's around half HP, it's not, especially with Electrocute, right? Right, like, Electrocute is the strongest early rune. You can actually kill kind of squishy champs like Victor, even on your own. If he would be a little bit lower, like this is too tanky, like too full HP still, but definitely something you just need to look at, right? You need the information, and I think now was like the first time you were looking mid, and then you were just looking at the Aurelion, you didn't even see the Victor. So yeah, like this kind of info is what will really help you just make good decisions and also have more impact overall. Right, here I told you when you hit level 4 is also often a good timing to just look for something. Or at least, obviously you want to clear the jungle here, as I said, to have the camps respawn close to each other again. But if you ever want to interrupt your jungle clear, it's usually after hitting level ups. Because then it's just where you're strong, especially in the early game levels. I mean, no, levels always matters super, like, really a lot. Again, you're missing these two here, right? These small ones.
Yeah.
Just angle it a little bit differently. Also, with Ekko Q, it's quite easy to hit them all because it opens up like this and it has a pretty big, how do you say, area. Yeah, here again, it took you quite a long time to really look top. Someone in chat was saying you could maybe dive her. I think generally you could definitely dive her if she's pre-6, but I think after 6, especially with flash up, it's very risky. Actually, I'm curious to know if the kill saw you with the way you walked in this brush. Always, if you're walking, like what you will see in a second here, the way you walked in, like you walked through here. So the minions that are here, I think they spot you. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, let's see if the minions spot you. Yeah, the minions did see you, right?
Okay.
So just if you had walked like up here, they would have never spotted you, and then she might have misplayed, right? Like now she's playing a bit passive here because she knows you're here, of course. But if she doesn't, then I mean she's actually still trolling pretty hard. I don't even know. I don't even know why she's walking up like that when she knows you're here. But of course this is like bronze, so this kind of stuff will just happen. And also, if I think your Irelia misplayed you pretty hard by recalling so far back when you're here. Right, like,
exactly. In this situation, I thought that if I draw my throw my W and Irelia ults her, we maybe kill her.
I mean, she's kind of out of range here is the problem.
Yeah.
Generally, I would say your W should just be a bit more between her and the tower.
Okay.
Right, so I think if you do that, I mean, she will live with flash no matter what, I think, and especially with, although she doesn't have mana for ult. I actually didn't see that in game, that was my bad. Like, you could have dove her here. She needs 100 mana for ult and she doesn't have that, so you can definitely just dive her here after you get her flash. That was pretty bad awareness by me. But yeah, like, she's 100% dead, she even hits the stun. Yeah. So if you ever see that, obviously that's a bit more advanced stuff, I would say, like looking at the mana and that stuff. But yeah, here I also told you with the item building, I don't think, unless you're really ahead, I don't think you should go in debt for 440 35 gold item. I think if you go in debt, it should at least be like a blasting one, like 850 gold or more. The impact of 20 AP is not enough to warrant losing 50 gold, in my opinion. Unless you're really ahead, so you're not really caring about losing 50 gold, right? But at this point, you're...
Just to understand it, I basically go into debt for full items like rocket.
Yeah, full items always.
Yeah, or the big components of the.
Yeah, bigger components, right? Yeah, basically that's it. Here, right, your first instinct was to go to the red. I would say it's not horrible. It's like okay if your plan is to just do Drake and whatever. But for hitting higher CS numbers, you always need to go to the camps that respawn first, right? And your top set is also coming up again by the time you're there from clearing. So yeah, and I think
my thought process was I go to the red because it's it respawn first, and then I'm going bot. clearing wolves and Gromp, and then going to Drake. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Yeah, that's definitely okay. I think here after we see the Senna top here, I think your first instinct should just be to clear the Drake. Of course, the Victor was overextending here, and you get him. I think both of the times where you ganked mid, your W placement was not very good. Like it should be way closer to him. The way the way you're placing your W. I mean, the fact that you generally place it between him and the tower is right, of course. But also how like he can't even reach that, right? Even if he wanted to, he can't reach that. So. And also the way you see like you're doing it, what you're doing good is that you want the shield. That's definitely like a good habit to have. But the way you place the W, you even need to kind of walk in there right before you can even path
Yeah.
towards him. So just placing the W around here would have been much better.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even like if you had waited like another second, maybe you could even place it here and whatever. But it doesn't really matter. You get him in the end. Or, like he genuinely didn't even look at you, I think. Yeah, and as I said, I was quite. Oh, he actually did clear the crab, I guess. Well, I don't know. Yeah, like now the first instinct or the first reflex should have definitely been to do Drake, because then, as I said, right, the camps, you can just clear them in a straight line again. But I also didn't really see that, or I was quite slow to say that, I guess. This is obviously not something that's like a huge deal, but it's just, I'm telling you how the optimal play would be, or like in my opinion, the optimal play would be, of course. Yeah, I think just like diving here is, it's a Tristana. She still has flash up. Her W is like super long range. Of course, she just used it here. But and with the wave, like you were not really looking at the wave, but you also need to look at the wave, because the wave is still so far away from the tower. Your whole wave is dead. It just takes such a long time, you know. It takes like 20 seconds or whatever until the wave's even under the tower, and by that point, theoretically, someone could even move here. I mean, they're obviously not doing it, but still, it's just such a huge
what
time investment. You're literally gaining more gold by just clearing your jungle.
was it still the right move to check his jungle? Because I felt like I have ult up and everything, so I wasn't too terrified of E.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, in general, it was not like it was not the wrong choice because of, I mean, obviously it was the wrong choice theoretically, right? Like if you have
Yeah.
super awareness because none of the jungle was up. I think generally just looking if some of the jungle is up is fine here. You're definitely not at a risk of dying, especially with the Aurelion around and whatever.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But yeah, overall, of course, I think if you're like in bronze, you just focus on clearing your own jungle first, right, before you start invading and that kind of stuff. I also like some other guy that I coached before, and he was in my chat yesterday, and he was telling me that he's always like tracking enemy jungles and whatever. But that's like stuff you just focus on the fundamentals first. Focus on clearing your own jungle efficiently. Like you can easily hit 8 CS per minute every single game, right? If you just focus on clearing your own jungle. Yeah, here again, like this W is so fucking far away. It's like how he can't even flash into that, right? So just place it around here, whatever, and then you're already also in the path to just like now it's even so far away that you can't really proc it. The rest is okay, I guess. I think you should have, if this guy was like a little bit tankier, you should have also tried to run out of the W for sure. Right, it takes some time before it stuns you, so just proc the Q and then run out the W here, and your return Q will still hit. It's just like a little bit better, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I really need to start reviewing my games.
Yeah, well,
like only the first 10 minutes or so, but I'm seeing so much now that I did not see while playing.
yeah. Yeah, here I think here I told you also, right? You should not really base here, because then you need to base again to get your rocket belt. So in this situation, of course, it's a little bit greedy because you have quite a lot of gold in your pocket and you're not super strong. But at the same time, you have some dark seal stacks. You already have the blasting one. You're also not super weak. So in my opinion, it's the right choice to just have like a really good reset here with the rocket belt. Yeah, of course, optimally it would be nice if the crab was still up. Let's see if you could have killed her. I think definitely the first thing you need to do here is just place a W behind her, right? Then you might be able to actually kill her here. Like now that you really need to place a W. Yeah, like the big thing missing here was just the W, right?
Yep.
Yeah, at least like you probably don't even stun her, but you slow her at least, and that's often enough. Yeah, you could even do like EW, right? Like while eing forward, you can W, so you're not even standing still. But I think even with standing still, that would be fine. Like she was not really reacting to her, right? It's a bronze player, so she was
But
just. It took quite a long time for her to react.
yeah, yeah, okay.
You can just E and then cast a W while you're doing
Mm,
it, right? But you can,
mm,
I don't even know if you can do it without quick cast. That's also definitely one reason why you shouldn't play with the non-quick cast, I guess. Mm. Okay, she doesn't have ult, you don't really have that info. I guess if you would have that info, she's definitely also diveable here. Although she has flash up again, so it's a little bit risky. In general, as I was saying, I think in bronze elo, first of all, diving is not super necessary, but and also just like going for dives is just risky because people will constantly misplay and like just die to the tower. Like you need to be pretty efficient with your abilities, right? You need to hit your abilities to successfully dive and just have good awareness and that kind of stuff, and that's just often missing in this elo. So I would generally just not force it too much. Uh, yeah, of course. Here you said, right? Should I check it? I think you generally should. You usually, I think you just need to walk up until here, and then you will see if there's like one of the small ones
yeah,
standing here.
yeah.
So you just don't even need to walk up until here. Just a little less risky. Mm, yeah. Does even something else happen here because I have F threats?
Yeah. Mm. I think nothing happens. We take Herald, I think, and that's
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah, right. Here I told you, right? Of course, see, it was taking you a little bit too long to look top, but this is why it's so important, right? As soon as you see, like even as soon as you see them walking there, you can already know that there's gonna be a fight breaking out, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
know if you're looking at your minimap all the time. Like personally, when I'm
I
playing, I
do
even have
actually.
my I even have my minimap bigger, right? So yeah, just if you see something like this happening, you need to look there and see what's really going to happen. And now is like when you really just need to decide if you walk there right away or if you just think either your team handles it or they're dead anyways before you're gonna be there. See, like, yeah, like my decision here would have just been to clear the cracks right away, right? The Kayle is under her tower, she still has ult, there's no. And it's like there's no wave either. The only thing you could do here is
Mm,
just walk, jump over the wall and whatever, but that's so unnecessary, right? You already got the first kill. And as I said, you're really close to level 9 here, so if you want to take the Herald in a second here, you want to be as strong as possible for that, and for that, like, having levels is good. Right now, and now what you're doing is basically just wasting, like, 15 seconds or whatever walking back and
yeah.
forth. Or did the Sivir even ulted them? Okay, and they just randomly FF'd. Well, okay, so let's look at the 10-0 game. Let's see.
Yeah, because I want to know if I did something by accident right in this game that I could like replicate or
Okay, okay. I
so.
mean, let's see, like, damage prep it and you see that. I mean, see, it seems like you definitely did some things right. Oftentimes, like sometimes I would say in these kind of games you might do like enough early for, and that then your team can just pop off, right? Like, and that then you still did a decent job overall, right? You don't need to have insane kills, but at the same time, in a 26-minute game where you're stomping, you also don't have that many kills. So I'm sure you missed out on quite a lot of them, but we will see
Yeah,
that now.
because I remember because I saw a Mumu top
Mm-hmm.
against the Kale, so I was like, okay,
Oh, okay.
this Amumu is gonna push in, I suppose. So I went, I think I cleared top, and then I went and killed Amumu level 3. And
Okay.
then I was like, oh no, Lilia is gonna take my bot side jungle, but she did not.
Okay, just looking at
So
the timeline here. Also,
yeah,
there was like a long time here where you just didn't get any kills in the
yep.
mid game. So that's yeah. I guess we'll see.
And the question I have is this like farming 3 camps and then going top for a gank? Is this like very bad?
It's like a coin flip.
Yeah.
So it
So
can turn
if I
out
don't get the
okay.
kill, it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't get the kill, it's bad. But there's like the reason it's overall bad to do coin flips is because there's no reason to do it.
Yeah, that's why I hate invading. By the way, I'm always pinging people off invading because I don't want to coin flip the game.
Yeah, I mean technically, of
Level
course,
one.
if you have like good knowledge of the level ones, right, and maybe you see that your team is way stronger level one or whatever, it's not a huge coin flip. But yeah, generally, I would say in your elo,
Yeah,
it's
but
oftentimes just a full coin flip.
if you have teams without CC, they still want
Yeah,
to.
yeah. Yeah, like yeah, generally pinging off invades is also something I often do with Ekko if I feel like we're not much stronger level 1 especially. Okay, like definitely never smite the red at like low HP. If you're gonna smite it, smite it right away because then at least you will get it below 3%. I think generally you should never smite the red anyways though. But smiting it like here is just like you even wasted 100 damage completely.
Yeah.
So that's definitely like a very unnecessary smite. Of course, make sure to hit both of them with your Q. You can just throw it from around here, right? You don't need to throw it from here. Just they will also walk to you a little bit faster. Then always make sure to proc the passive. The passive has like a 3-second cooldown, right? So you just want the cooldown to even start going on cooldown. Basically, okay. So what you're going top here after clearing this, or what?
Yeah, exactly. Because now I started looking top, and I saw that they were super low both.
But you could have also looked bot and seen that the Senna is already quite low HP and see, like, I mean, as I said, it's like a coin flip now. If you get the kill, that's not bad, and definitely this is a super gankable lane set for sure. And I would say, like, champions like Lee Sin or whatever, they definitely go for these kind of ganks for sure. Like, if you're playing an early game champ, that's like fine to go, or a Jarvan or whatever.
If I was Kha'Zix, I would have gone there.
And Kha'Zix is also pretty much a farming jungler, to be honest. Though, like, it's just coin flip, and there's no real reason. Wait, is this Lilia already through a jungle?
Yeah.
I mean, wait. I just want to see really quick before we look at that. How much faster is she than you? Or do we just not see the bot set camps? No. Right. Hello? Oh, dude. What? Wait, what the fuck? Am I not pressing back? Why is it going forward? What the fuck? What? I've never had that happen. Okay, she's not that much faster. I thought she was. I mean, she's definitely a bit faster, but it might also be. It's definitely also because you smited here and that kind of stuff. And she had obviously she had a leash from her bot lane, which is a little bit faster than Kale. Okay. Let's see. I'll just place the W now. Okay, like big thing, definitely big thing. You can place a W from like out of vision. That makes such a difference for being able to hit it as well. But I always wish I could just show you the range, but the range is exactly at a cutoff point where the enemies can't see you if you press it like as early as possible. Basically, it's not difficult, right? You just while you're walking here, you just press the W and Ekko will cast it for you as early as possible, and then he will never see it, right? Because what you're doing here now is just you're walking into the vision range, so he has the info that you're placing the W, so he can react to it. Otherwise, he has much like. If you place it from out of vision, he only sees like the last portion of it where it just flies out, right?
Okay.
So it's much harder to react, and you can already place it here. And also, of course, you just have better timing to walk into it, right? Then it will pop right away when you're there, and now you just need to kind of wait. Yeah, also, the W placement should be way more here, right? Like, I mean, not way more, but a little bit more towards here, because maybe you thought the Q would hit him or whatever, but then this W is also not very good. So, yeah, generally, since he's not gonna keep walking into the tower unless he wants to die right away, then you should just place it more towards yourself, of course. Oh, damn it. You kinda outplayed there with the flash. Yeah, I think you should definitely leave the wave here. I mean, well, she doesn't have TP, but I think the wave like here, like this, it will stay here. And just see how these minions are clearing your minions, right? Those are all minions that the Momo is losing. So if you're gonna be like a really good jungler here, you will just place your W here and freeze the wave for her. I mean, this wave is definitely huge. Yeah, what you're actually doing here, I don't know. It was probably not your like super mindful intention, but clearing like some of the backline minions here is definitely the right thing to do, because otherwise the minions will push too fast. Right, like clearing maybe 3 minions or whatever here, and then freezing them with the W would be probably the best thing you could do for the Kale.
I was actually trying to freeze, but I don't know shit about freezing,
Yeah.
so
Well, freezing basically just means holding the minions from outside the tower and waiting for these minions to come there, so they're not walking in the tower, right, and dying. That's all there is to freezing, basically. Like, that's the general thing of freezing. I think now you should really just look to base, of course.
yeah, I saw the Lilia E, and then I
You're
had
still playing
base.
with green smite as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously a decent base. I would say here is, for example, yeah, here you should definitely go on base for Blasting Wand, for in that. Yeah, in my opinion. Like, when you're around 1000 gold, I think Dark Seal plus Blasting Wand is a very good base. And you could have gotten it with Futures Market here, definitely. And the reason for that is, like, it just allows you to stay on the map much longer, and you can usually make up the 50 gold that you're losing with that. Right, like with this, if you walk out of base with this, you're usually a little bit weak. And it's nice that you're able to steal it away.
Yeah, now she greets for the blue and dies.
Okay.
And this is where my bot lane is starting to roll.
Okay, I think, well, let's see. Did you need to walk so far away is like the biggest question. I mean, in general, what you did here is definitely correct, I would say. Yeah, like slowing her with Q and that stuff is good.
Exactly, yeah.
I would say you could maybe, or like not maybe, I think you should proc the passive as well, because she can't really CC, right? So you will take a little bit more damage, but what you should just do here is Q, walk up to her, auto her, and then your second Q will give you the passive proc, right? First of all, you will just deal a little bit more damage, and of course you also have much more motion speed then. You could even E into her here, and you wouldn't die, right? Because they just don't have any CC to kill you at this point, or to lock you up. And you'll just be able to run out. But of course, this worked out fine this way. Yeah, now you definitely need to look bot and see. I think you can't really get them. The Ezreal is probably just going base, so yeah, just clearing jungle here is fine, or it's like the correct thing to do. Now definitely start looking mid as well. It's definitely not easy to gank either. Because, like, in this elo, oftentimes people don't really fight enough. Like, in higher elos, people will often, like, if one matchup is winning or whatever, like winning champ-wise, then they will often just really abuse it and poke people down, that kind of stuff. In this elo, oftentimes people are just full HP the whole laning phase because people are too scared to play the game. Wait, how did you path here? Okay, I think if you're looking to path mid, definitely just walk around here, right? You're just wasting time for no reason walking here.
I think I thought she might be on
You
Drake.
thought she was doing Drake, okay. But why would you think that? I mean, how would she do it? You have the crap here.
Yeah, I wanted to ward Drake.
Okay. I think you generally don't need to ward Drake. Like, I never ward here. If anything, I ward here. First of all, you should have sweeper by now, but as per usual in a bronze game, nobody has a sweeper. But yeah, as a jungler, always you need sweeper. It's really gonna help you so much. You will notice. Or here's an even better ward oftentimes, because it helps your laners as well. This ward gives you such little information, you know. Just think about it. This word gives you one amount of information, and that's when she's at Drake. But this word will also give you the information when she's moving towards Drake here. So it's basically giving you the same, and it's also just giving you the information if she's even maybe doing the Raptors or if she's just going for mid gank. So like, these words are just so much better.
Yeah, makes sense.
Actually. Yeah, like just the Drake word is very unimpactful most of the time. If anything, you can maybe leave a control word here or whatever, if you just want to have permanent vision, but even that I'm personally not a big fan of. I guess you're looking to gank mid, or are you looking to invade here?
But just one more question. No, I was going to the jungle and looking if her raptors were up, but then I met her there. Yeah, but just one more question. If I'm desperate to know if they're on Drake or not, I can throw my W there, right?
Yeah, you can throw it from here. Again, like, it's even out of range.
So it gives me vision, right?
It gives you vision, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can even do it from, like, out of range. Like
Okay.
you can just go here, play, like usually of course they will also stand around here anyways. So yeah, you don't need to ward there. But if you're looking to gank mid right away, of course just walk this path here. Oftentimes even the plant will be up, you can boost yourself a bit, just be a little bit faster. And then if you're going mid, like I don't know how you usually gank mid, you probably just go through the brushes, but if you go gank mid, usually you should just walk from behind here. It's much more successful. And the big thing is as well that even if this is warded, walking right at the wall here, they won't spot you. Like I don't think any ward from this brush spots you if you walk behind here. I think your first instinct should have actually been to just gank mid here. Even I mean the Amumu is here, so it's definitely risky, but you don't really have info on that. So like going for the invade here, as I said, you just need to walk up until here, and then you have the info. Like yeah, the way you're walking here, you're for no reason not having the info. If you're just a bit more down here, you know if this one is standing there. And then here you're just a little bit too passive. See, you see that she's a level below you. That already tells you you're stronger than her, right? So you don't need to be scared. I think first instinct should be to place a W in this brush, because you know that if she's running away, she will run away towards there. And then I think I would just go to try and steal these ones. Now you see that they're low enough, you can steal them with the Q. I mean, you even get 2 of them. So yeah, I mean, this is fine, right? But I think you don't need to be that scared here, especially because your Lux is even moving. And you just need to...
Was the flash the flash too much of a panic flash?
I think it was. I mean, you're definitely a bit deep here. Yeah, like the biggest problem is just that you haven't placed your W early enough, right? If you place your W, first of all, it zones them away. They can't really stay on top of you that well. And it obviously gives you a shield as well. It just gives you a good escape. Like, now where you see the Malzahar moving from mid, just place a W here and you never need to flash. The Lilia is still so far away. And also, I definitely don't E for the Raptor here, right? Like, you don't need to E. You have the passive proc up. So you have enough damage anyways. And the E is a very important cooldown in this situation. It generally is a big cool, or like a good cooldown, but yeah, definitely just auto attack at you and I'm pretty sure you get it. And even if you don't get it, it's like, it's definitely, right, because now I mean, you still didn't have to flash if you place your W. Maybe you didn't even have to place your W, right? You're still pretty healthy. Definitely a panic flash overall.
But in the end, I traded the flash for a Raptor.
Yeah, that's obviously not worth, right? It's like 5 minute cooldown for 35 gold and a bunch of XP is not really worth. Yeah, I don't even know if you need to go base. Did you buy something important? Are you about the alternator as well? I mean, yeah, as I said, I think buying the raw AP is usually better. I'm not 100% sure on that though, because the jungle pet deals quite a lot of damage. Like last season, you definitely wanted to buy the blasting wand, because it would just give you more damage because of the AP scalings. Now the jungle pet deals quite a bit of base damage, but I'm still not sure. It still also has an AP scaling, the jungle pet, so I'm not sure. I guess both are fine. Just know that, right? Like this gives you like the gold that you're spending is on health as well. You know, you have 15 less AP and like 450 health, and the health is basically only impactful for fighting, and also only defensively then as well, right? So
okay, so for clearing blasting one.
For clearing blasting one is generally better, I would say.
Okay, so now I think that Amumu is like greeting.
Yeah, this is a very good timing for ganking. Every time you walk out of base, you should look if you can gank first before clearing jungle.
And now he even cues me.
Yeah. No, it's just that. Like place your W here. You really just need to place your W here. As soon as you see this guy, like I would say if with the Amumu Haloi issue, I would probably not even place my W here, but as soon as you see this, first reaction needs to be the W here, or somewhere where you're fighting, preferably of course between them, because she wants to keep chasing, right? So just to save your kill as well, maybe. I mean, she probably dies here no matter what, but I'm sure the Lilia manages to walk out of your W here. Yeah, if you would have placed it right away, I don't think she had such an easy time to escape there. Maybe she would have escaped with low HP anyways, but probably you could have killed her. Also because you're definitely a bit strong here. Yeah, this wave state definitely sucks a bit. Like it's pushing into the Momo because there's more minions here. Or like as soon as you see more minions, right, they will just attack more, and then that means they're pushing. It's basically
Actually,
like the
I
basic of
wanted
stuff.
to push the wave, but she
Hmm.
pinged me, so I let it.
Yeah, the thing is, the Amumu has TP, so I don't know. I think the wave was just kind of fucked no matter what here,
Yeah.
because I don't know if you should have not touched it at all, maybe. No, but I think it's still too many minions here. Yeah, like technically, I think you would have to push the next wave as well. I think, especially because this guy's not playing with TP. Like playing kill with ghosts is very greedy. Yeah, I mean whatever, right? Like just don't focus too on your laners too much, anyways. In this, either just play around yourself. There's no. It just doesn't matter, right? Like there will be so much stuff happening that's just wrong or like mistakes or whatever. Just play your own game, become as strong as possible, and then your champ will be super unfair. Okay, you're looking top again. Like this is, for example, one situation where I would never look top. Your Kaido's level 5, Momu's level 7. He already has like a bunch more gold at least. He doesn't really have that many items, but it's like he's full HP as well, right? This is just a huge time waste. I'm sure you don't get him here. You don't. It's just.
Yeah, but I see him. I think I was afraid they're going to do Herald because
It
they.
seems like it. You're pinging it, but still, like just at least clear your Raptors before, and
Yeah. Okay.
then you can contest it, I guess. But the Lilia isn't even here. Like, okay, this is like, I guess, I don't know if this is like a read because you see this kind of stuff happening often, but usually this would never happen
Yeah, I
where the
do.
top laner just randomly starts doing it alone.
I just had a hunch that he's going to
Yeah.
this.
And that's obviously nice that you get it here for free. But generally, you should just really clear your jungle. Like, this is where you're missing some CS, just by
Yeah.
doing this kind of stuff.
No, I wanted to
Just.
go for the Malzahar, but
But you see, like, this is, for example, where you really need the awareness that the Amumu is still there.
yeah.
And just need the awareness that Amumu is a champ that can CC you, and he probably won't let it happen that you get into the range of the Malzahar here. This is bronze elo for someone asking in chat. Like even a low bronze, right? So, but actually, it's not even that bad. Like compared to the bronze coaching that I did recently, this is quite tame, I would say. It's not even that much stuff happening. Oh, you live here, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember panic pressing R.
Yeah. No, I mean the ult was good. I think they should have just killed you. I don't know how they didn't manage to kill you here, honestly.
Yeah, I had
I
to give the kill the thumbs up.
Yeah. Well, the whole time, right? Like now, I think even now you should just go jungle. I don't think you can even buy the rocket belt here. I'm pretty sure. You're just wasting time at this point. I mean, okay, placing the Herald top is okay. Okay, you even got a kill here. Sven is also there. Okay, still, like, your jungle is up the whole time.
Yeah.
Can you buy the rocket belt here on your base? Yeah, okay. So going base, at this point, it's okay. But you see, your bot side has been up for, I think, 5 minutes at this point, so that's obviously not good. The big thing about what you really need to get in your head is that the camps respawn, right? So you want them to, it's like gold that is just sitting here and that is also not regenerating at this point. So that's the important stuff about clearing the jungle, because you're not just not taking it, but you're also not letting the camps respawn. So that's like the reason why the CS numbers will be quite low this game, or
Actually,
like quite low.
I read to my daughter that the German fairy tale Tischlein deck dich, so this is like this, right?
Why? Wait. How? I don't remember it. I mean, I've heard of it, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's also about clearing jungle.
No, but it's about a table that puts food on it when you ate all the food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that then, for sure.
Okay, so now I'm leaving Raptors because I see the movement.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Like going top here right away is definitely fine. Yeah, see this W. I think this was like a max range W, and it was quite far, or like almost max range. Yeah. See, like I think you place it now, I think even a little bit further, like quite a little bit. But see, this is the range, so it's pretty far. And I think the way where you place it is understandable, right? Obviously you don't stun him here. Okay, definitely, like, there's no reason for you to use the rocket belt here. I mean, it doesn't hurt you in this situation, but generally, the rocket belt is something you want to use last. Or like, I'm not even gonna talk about like doing super fast combos or whatever. That's not really important for you.
Actually, I'm never using the rocket belt to do damage. I'm always using it to gap close.
Well, it does both, right? Like you can use it for both things oftentimes. It's just you obviously like you didn't need it to gap close in this situation, right? That's the point I'm trying to make, because you're in range anyways, and then it's just a long cooldown as well. You need to realize it's like in the late game it's even longer cooldown than your ult, so you should value it that much. It's 40 seconds, or it's the same cooldown as your ult on base without any cooldown reduction. You should just value it more.
So I have one question. So if I look at the game state, I'm like 3-0, and all my kills are from Amumu.
Mm-hmm.
So and I see my bot lane is doing very well. Do I just leave them and re-gank the Amumu like crazy, like
no.
See,
you also have treasure hunter, so you want to collect all the stacks as well. That's like that's like the biggest reason you want to play around the whole map. I mean, of course, the other reason is that you just want to try to enable or like help most of your team, but the big reason for yourself to play around the whole map is to just collect all the stacks, right? Because the first treasure hunter stack is even worth less than the later ones. So yeah. But yeah, as I said, like you don't even need to eat to be in his range. You're just in his range already. So just as a habit, right? In this situation, it really doesn't matter. You get him no matter what. But I'm just saying, as a habit, don't use your rocket belt too lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then just clear your jungle, of course. How much gold do you have? This is definitely a Merc scam, I would say. It sadly doesn't help you against Mother ult, of course, but it helps you against Amomo and Lilia CC, which is quite long. Again, I think you just engage with the rocket belt here. Definitely get into the habit of using your E first. Yeah, there's absolutely no reason to rocket belt here. Just EQ. Especially because the rocket belt, it's like, it kind of locks you into the animation where you can't use your Q or whatever. So it's just, there's really no reason. I'll always just EQ, and also in this situation definitely just place a W. Of course you get her no matter what, but I'm just saying, like generally when you see people, you have in front people in a brush or whatever, and you can place a W from out of vision, always just do it. Okay, I would also usually just buy AP here instead of the attack speed. Oh, you also went Sorks here. Yeah, I think there's many reasons not to go Sorks here. The main one being
Lilia, Amumu,
yeah, the main one being the CC, but also the fact that you have like an AP champ in mid, an AP champ in support, and maybe even an AP champ in top, depending on what the Kayle is buying. So, you know, having flat penetration is just worse in that scenario, because enemies are more likely to build MR. Right, like flat pen is worse when people build MR, and percent pen is better. Like this game, you're definitely way too focused on just killing the Amumu. It's like for your own gain, it's just not optimal. Especially if your bot lane is winning so hard that you can just farm them, just at least kill them once really quickly for the stacks. I would say I'm personally someone that cares more about the stacks than most people. Like even when I look high-elo streams, they often don't look at the stacks that much. But I think especially with Treasure Hunter, you should really look to collect them as early as possible, because they're much better if you're able to collect them early to start snowballing. The chat is asking how to play against Draven Jungle. Okay, I don't know, just kill him. Yeah, I mean, at this point you're super fat, right? Like you're basically the most fat. You're actually the most fat person in the game. You have the most gold, so you should just, you should really know if you press tab and you see you have 600 gold on your name, Riot is telling you that you're strong as fuck, right? Like you're really strong. So you should also, at this point, you just need to play like it. And that's like the important part a lot of people are missing in Yuri, I would say, and like even in Platinum and that stuff. It's
Like
just,
chat
there's
mode
really,
on. Yeah.
yeah, and again, you're using, like, never use the rocket belt first, like this, or almost never, unless you really need to get in range. But again, like, I think you're here. Wait, let's see. I mean, first, definitely placing the W. Okay, you do that. Yeah, just always E. And the big reason for that is because you can do like a fast rocket belt combo. I don't know if you know about it. I can show you afterwards for sure. But that's like the biggest reason why you don't want to use the rocket belt. But also because it's just a long cooldown, right? And if you don't need to use it, then you generally shouldn't use it. Okay, now it's actually quite a long time where you don't seem to get any kills, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what's.
So this is typical for me. Like I have this game where I snowball early. It's okay. I'm strong. I'm fat. And now what?
Yeah, like
So-
the thing is, in this situation, oftentimes it's not even a bad idea to just focus on jungling, right? Like, like the more fed you are, the better it is, in my opinion, to just clear the jungle and then look if you can do something. Because in this kind of game set, you're not really forced to do anything, right? You're already so ahead. You already did like the biggest thing for winning, right? You already started snowballing. Everyone on your team is ahead, basically. So I like to do just basically. It's kind of like not damage control because you're already ahead, but you're just making sure that you stay ahead. And the way you do that is just by clearing your jungle and then look for plays. And oftentimes, if you're so ahead, you can go for so many plays. Of course, here, like, taking the Drake right away, also good, especially because the Mountain Drake is the best Drake in the game most of the time.
I think I didn't go right now because they're all bot, and I was like, okay, I have the Herald, and
Yeah, that's also fine. Getting the mid tower, opening up the map, also good. See, like, it's fine. If you're slowing down now, it's completely okay, right? Like, as long as you're still winning, it's okay that you're not farming kills and whatever. Generally, I would say the way you need to do it though is just by at least having, like, ensuring that you have high CS, so you're basically just guaranteeing the win at that point. And that's what I often do in these kind of games where I get like really fed, and then I just make sure to really not lose the game. Let's see if you could have done something here. I mean, with Maldor, of course, you always need to be careful, especially because you don't really have that much info here, so anyone could be around. Yeah, I mean, I would personally have probably went for the passive procure, then he would have probably been chunked to like half HP, and it's much more difficult for him to play the game.
I was afraid of R, and he gets.
Yeah, of course. But like I said, it's definitely risky. I will have to restart the thing here because for some reason the tab is bugged again. Okay, we're at 17 minutes. I don't know why that keeps happening. Someone in chat is asking like an interesting question. Like, what do you have to do if you have stats like yours here? And then, but the overall stat is like more equal, right? Like when the enemies also have around 18 kills, let's say. I think then it's even more you need to do what I just said, right? Then you just need to make sure you're not committing into fights where you can lose. And just make sure that you take your camps so you really stay strong. And the thing is, the more items you have, the faster you also clear the jungle, right? So it snowballs even harder there. And it takes you less and less time to just clear the jungle. So just like that's why it's so important to clear jungle. You literally start one-hitting the camps and they still make you stronger. So it's just so good. And then when you're already at this point, like you just one-hit the camps and then you see if you can play. And because the people, like the enemies, they're trying to win the game here. Like in this scenario here, of course, the enemies will maybe try to win the game. So they have to go for plays oftentimes. But they will just be weaker and then they will lose the place. So you don't even need to be the proactive one. And if it's more even, then usually, I would say in more even games, it's not unlikely that some of the enemies also have shutdowns. So as Ekko, I would say you should usually look to just collect these shutdowns then. Like especially if they're on squishy champs, like if maybe the enemy, let's say the enemy ADC has like a 300 gold shutdown, I would say that's like a scenario that often happens. Then I would just focus on trying to shut these people down so you're just the single stronger person in the game. I think smiting here is definitely a little bit of a mistake. Also, another big reason for clearing the jungle this whole time is just so you have your jungle item, right? Upgraded. First of all, it's a little bit annoying that it's taking up a slot, and also it's, especially the blue smite has insane value, right? It's super good. The movement speed, you can really feel it. But even the green smite is of course also good. So just sitting on these stacks is often like that's the biggest reason this season almost where you need to jungle efficiently. Just so you get that out of your inventory. And yeah, like you can even see Riot is basically also telling you when you haven't jungled in a long time because you have like these treats. Did you know about that? Like the treats system?
No,
It's like
I
when
know
you
that they are there, but
it's like the longer, see, every 60 seconds you gain like a bonus treat, and then okay, that's like after upgrading. But yeah, like every 60 seconds you just gain a treat, and like treats basically mean you get like one more stack of this after clearing comes. See, now you're at 7, and after clearing you're at 4 because you have like one base that's going off and then the 2 treats. So the more treats you have, it basically also just Riot is basically also telling you that you haven't jungled in a long time. If you have like 2 treats or whatever, it basically should usually mean that you're probably should just jungle. Yeah, no, definitely just take the Drake here. I'm sure you get it. Are you giving the blue to the Jinx?
yeah, she insisted.
Okay, I mean I would just not give it to her. If it's the mid laner, okay.
I mean, 5-2-5 Jinx, and if I don't give her, she
It's
might AK.
okay, and then you still win the game because you're 10k gold ahead and she's just a fucking loser, right? Like the thing is, don't give your camps lightly to laners. It's okay to give buffs to like mid laner or whatever, but and the rep buff to the ADC, but you get more XP than laners from jungle camps, so you just have the right to take them over your laners generally. I think what you should do now is just clear, keep clearing. Keep clearing and then look if you can maybe do something top or whatever. You're literally just wasting time.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you're not falling super far behind, but you're just slightly falling behind when you could get even more ahead. That's the point, right? That's how you snowball. You snowball by just getting even more ahead, like ever so slightly, of course. Getting kills is just, it's like boosting how you ahead you get, but clearing jungle efficiently when you already are at a point where you clear it so fast because of your items is just permanently boosting you slightly, you know? You understand? Like it's just
I do.
like a small curve going up, I guess, with how ahead you are gold wise.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't know where your Kale's helping you jungle. Yeah, at this point I would also I think at this point you should usually just smite the camps if you have 2 charges, not if like you want it to have for a fight, right? If you need it.
Yeah.
So just keep it. It's not like it's not that bad. Especially the big thing for Ekko, like that's something that changed for Ekko this season. That's really good. You know, last season there was red smite and blue smite, and only blue smite slowed. But now all the smites slow. And with the smite range, if you E, the smite range is like slightly longer, right? It's slightly longer than the auto attack range. So you can oftentimes slow people and get into the range. I can actually show you in one of my recent videos exactly that happened. Basically, I think even my last one. So it's like very useful. It's very good to know, I guess, that you can often smite people so you can attack them with your E.
No, in this situation, I didn't really know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're just playing too much for your team, I guess, with how ahead you are, right? You're in a position where you could just walk in here and kill the Senna, right? Or yeah, take your red buff and then look for kills. With how ahead you are, you need to spot enemies on the map, kind of track their movement. Right, often you can see if they're walking in a jungle, you know that they're going to be around there, and then just kill them. And then you have the numbers advantage, and you can just force down towers or whatever, or even just group with your team. At this point, you're so ahead you can just dive anyone so easily. Yeah, I mean, okay, definitely buy Magi's here. 100% of the time buy Magi's here. You have flash up, everything. You're super ahead. Magi's gives you 10% movement speed, which again helps you snowball even harder, and especially because you're playing without blue smite, so you're pretty slow. Like you're way too slow with this build, in my opinion, without blue smite. Just like walking around the map faster is first of all also increasing your goal. It's like increasing your goal generation in a lot of ways. It's increasing it by walking to jungle camps faster, but also by being able to get more kills and like being able to join team fights easier and that kind of stuff. Movement speed is a very good stat for junglers, especially, and especially for Ekko. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
hovering around the Kale here is completely fine. Like, the fact that you're not getting kills here is it's not a big deal in my opinion. Obviously, you could look for kills, but that you're not getting any is okay for the game state. You don't need to force or whatever. I mean, you definitely should kill him here. I don't know why you're not just killing him. He's literally... okay, he's 0-7-0. If you had the Madras here, you definitely need to kill him, because then, of course, you're farming the stacks. At this point, I guess just taking the tower, okay, right, like... Not the biggest misplay in the world. Of course, one reason to kill him, though, is, of course, that he also can't generate any gold for, like, 30 seconds while he's dead. Right, so... even killing a 0-7-0 target is... it might not give you the most gold, but it's also gonna lose him gold, of course, so it's still worth, I would say. Yeah, I mean, you're just not really on the forefront with the fighting a lot of the time, I would say. Because your team was doing it, but it's also because your team is just so ahead. It's... as I said, it's okay, but I guess if you want to improve, just try to be the one that's looking for the fights. And you might maybe lose a game every now and then because you just misplay with it or whatever, but I think especially in this game you could have easily gotten like 15 kills or something, probably.
Yeah, this game set I was like focusing hard on towers.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally, of course, good, because that's how you win the game, by killing towers. But at the same time, you can also just dive them oftentimes, I guess. And then take the tower, right? Like when you're sieging, maybe that's what you do. It's definitely a bit risky against Mother or whatever, but yeah, this W is good. Again, you don't need to do Rocket Belt to get into range there. And here, you can literally just end here, by the way, like you don't even need to do Nash. Well, wait, holy shit, this guy's dealing a lot of damage. I swear Amumu is hidden OP, he got even buffed, I think. And this guy's going almost full tank, and he's just killing you while you're 9-0. It's pretty crazy. I think actually, like, mechanically, you're not even bad, especially for a bronze player. I would say you're not missing your abilities all the time, and that's... I mean, obviously this maybe a game where you played better than average, but still, like, not to shit on the guy that I coached recently, but he was like worse mechanically for sure. The other bronze player, it's like he was missing a lot more abilities, and he was also just like, you're at least kind of controlled. Maybe it's because you also play without the quick cast, right? So that helps you maybe be a little bit more controlled with where you put your abilities and that stuff. But I would actually say your mechanics are not like the biggest problem, or I would have expected them to be a bigger problem. But obviously there are some mistakes every now and then that I tell you. I think especially in this situation, definitely take the blue buff, because you don't have much mana. Of course you have some mana regen in the jungle, like quite a lot. But still, I would just take it. Like, you're definitely running a little bit low on mana here if you keep using your abilities in the Nash. And now you buy the Madras, okay. Oh, you had Rabadons as well, okay.
Yeah, at this point I was like, okay, I'm going side lane and just end, because...
I mean, there's not much to analyze here. You're just like 15k gold ahead, so you can just end, of course.
The question is, did I contribute something to this?
Of course you did. Like in the early, you definitely did contribute, and like, as I said, it's fine to not keep forcing. I would say I would have personally, there were some situations I told you where I would have just played more around myself and made sure to stay even further ahead. And of course you could have just been more active in these like past 10 minutes and just look for more kills, but you didn't need to win the game, right? That's like the thing. But overall, I would say this was definitely a fine game, especially for your elo, right? Like, you didn't overcommit to dumb plays and stuff, and that's also important. Of course, for learning, I told you, I think you should often just play very aggressive and just learn from your mistakes. But still, like, going for like safe plays and just farming is completely fine. I'm just quickly gonna show you the reason why you shouldn't rocket belt the way you did in all the time. I mean, first of all, also because rocket belt can be like a very good defensive cooldown, of course. It's just an extra dash to dodge abilities and that stuff, but The big reason you shouldn't use it as your first ability is wait, what I will show you here. Where's gold? Okay. So what you usually do, I mean, of course, first of all, the reason you don't want you don't want to do this is because then you can't cast them at the same time, right? And what you can do if you have them on quick cast is like this, right? Where you just jump and this way, as you can see, that I'm much faster to proc the passive. See, now I just need to auto attack. The way what you're doing in every single fight is like this. And then imagine the enemy's also running away, so you're not able to auto attack them every time. So oftentimes you will even miss out on passive proc. Like that's not something you need to worry about right now as much, I would say. But I would think like if you're around gold or whatever, really start getting into the habit of doing that. And I guess there's no reason not to start now, right? With playing with quick cast.
Yeah.
You might in the first couple of games might feel weird, but you will get used to it 100%. Like every other league player managed to do it as well, right? So why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So just you can do this, and then like the more advanced combo for you can also put in the rocket belt where you just do like this, and it's really fast. Like on the dummy, it looks a bit stupid, but if the enemies are running, then it can look like really smooth, and it's just a very fast combo, and it kind of resets your auto attack timer as well.
So it's
Right.
like QE auto rocket.
Like you just basically put in the rocket belt after, and then you can also do a quick auto attack.
Oh, okay.
You also know that the E is like an auto attack reset. Do you know that? Like you can do this and then E. This is especially important if you play with Lichbane, because then you don't have that much attack speed. Also, always just do it when you're jungle clearing, right? Just get into the habit of auto attack canceling a little bit.
Yeah.
Not that difficult. Yeah, and then it's just yeah. Also earlier someone was saying in chat like you can do this, right, where you EW in that one situation where you're in the first game with the Senna here.
Yeah.
You could have just done like this, something like this, and then queued her, and it would probably been able to even stun her or slow her at least. So like oftentimes when you're chasing, you want to do this, I guess. But I think even just placing the W behind her here and then doing like doing the EQ combo in this kind of fights is also very good, right? And the big reason also is, for example, let's say you're ganking bot here, and the enemies like you place a W here, the enemies start running, and then you do like this, and you already throw out the Q before, so it means the Q slows them. So it's more likely they also stay in the W. I think that's why it's also really important to get used to doing this. You can't do it every time, of course. Like if enemies are slightly out of range or whatever in the beginning, then you might need to E onto them first and then hit your Q, or sometimes it's just too risky. Like, for example, if enemies have movement abilities. Oftentimes I also just E on them, see if they either use it or I'm just close enough to them, and then Q. Like, sometimes you need to be sure you can hit the Q, but obviously that's more advanced stuff, I would say. Like, obviously there's a lot of stuff you can technically think about, but yeah, like get into the habit of playing with it first, and then maybe like after 10 games or whatever, try to do this kind of engage on most of your enemies. It will really help you get a lot of kills, I would say.
So I take this like my homework.
Yeah, that's definitely your homework. And I guess like pathing wise and whatever is something we will talk about more in the future. I would say generally your biggest mistake is oftentimes just to not choose to jungle. Right? It's not even that you're going to the wrong camps or whatever, but you're just not choosing to jungle in situations where you can't really do much else anyways. But that's, yeah, like, I don't want to overwhelm you with all the stuff. I think the biggest thing to focus on for right now is just get used to like playing with the stuff like the quick cast, get used to pressing the center on you a lot more. Definitely look at the lanes, right? Like look at the lanes and really get the info. Look at the lanes you're closest to. Always see if you're top side, if you're maybe clearing the grump. Just get into the habit of looking at top. It's like it's the only lane you're really gonna gank anyways.
Yeah.
Then maybe if you're at wolves or whatever, start looking mid. If you're a crab, of course, just like see. Of course, you also see on the minimap, right, where people are fighting and that kind of stuff. like if people are close to each other, it usually means they're fighting. You also see your teammates' health bars, of course, so you know if people are fighting. Just get your awareness up, and yeah, of course, right? I didn't see. Maybe we should have. I guess next time we can definitely also look like at a bad game, for example, because of course both of the games you played today, like the first one was like a 15-minute surrender from the enemies. I didn't see a single death from you so far, right? So it's definitely also something we will have to see, of course, why you die. It's obviously very important to see if it's like often if it's more bad decision making, if it's more mechanical, you know, that like obviously it's super important to know that. But if you already told me you want to have multiple sessions, so I think it's okay that we didn't really see that today. Definitely something.
Let's save this for the next time.
Yeah, it's definitely good. If you have any more questions now, you can of course ask me.
No, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's good. I will upload this session to YouTube definitely this week. I mean, I still have another one I will upload tomorrow, I guess. And then maybe on Saturday or something I will upload it. Of course, but I also live streamed it, so you can just look at the bot if you want to see it earlier.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna stop the